Hey guys, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Attack on Productions, turning
Why are you
sparkly
touching
cardboard
me?
sideways. Bancroft, stop talking. We got Nick with his flash coup hand destruction degeneracy. He's really mean and he hates all of us, and he only comes out here to ruin our day. Like, subscribe to our OnlyFans. Thank you. Here we go, Nick.
All right. Yeah, as Jimmy graciously said, this is very degenerate, but I like it. It makes me feel good about myself. So, we got the Son Goku Clash Crew leader. The way it works, it has an auto burst 2. Take top 2 cards of your deck, put them in your drop area. When this card attacks, you take a green card from your hand, place it in the drop, draw 2 cards. Then the Awaken, untap 2 when your life's at 4, flip the card over. Really good for the burst, because there's a few cards you want to play from your drop, or in your drop. And then also with the dropping a card, you also filter. So really good getting your hand right where you want it to be. And the Awaken side, Legendary Super Saiyan. Auto is sparking 5, so you have to have 5 cards in your drop. But the way it works is when you attack with it, you draw a card, and then if there is a Krillin in your drop area, it gets plus 5,000 and double strike for the battle. So I like tall leaders. This is really good for that. Does work on its own, and then there's extra cards here to augment that to get even more battle power, or punish them, or punish the opponent, or make them discard cards. So that's the leader. Now for the green good stuff, we have 4 Bardock, Paternal Unison. Has an auto. When your opponent combos, you may place 1 card from their combo area, place in the drop area, negate the skill for the turn. So really good skill. Just controlling what your opponent uses. Anything in their hand can be hit with this. They use a double strike, or it gets rid of combo power, but they still get their effects off. But still really good if someone's going in tall or someone's trying to defend. You can say, no, I don't want to use that. I don't want you to use that. You got to use more to stop the attack, or no, you got to use more if you want to hit me. We have 2 Metacooler Unisons. Oh, well, I guess I should go back over this a little bit more. This is one of the main players of the deck, because it has a +1. Choose one of your 1-drop cards, KO it, then your opponent chooses 1 card from their deck and discards it, or from their hand and discards it. Really good to start the hand control off, so play this turn 2. If you have a turn 1, play 1 drop, turn 2, play this. Start the hand control really early, and then just keep playing the 1-drops, keeping their hand really low. This puts in a lot of work. Then it has the -3, activate main. This card gets plus 5,000 and triple attack for the turn. So really good to finish a game, finish a unison card on the field. Just really good utility, really strong. I love it a lot, one of my favorites. Now for the Metacooler Unison, it has an activate main once per turn. Your leader card is green, mono green, play a Metacooler token. Really good for getting your board out, spamming your board. So if you can't do it with the hand control, get the board out really wide, go real wide, make them combo most of their hand away from this, or just go for game with multiple swings. Activate main, choose 1 card in your hand, discard it, then draw 2 cards. Really good for more filtering and card draw. Because the way this deck works is you want to try to get as much draw as possible, because you're using a lot of cards on your turn and your opponent's turn. So this really helps getting the right cards in the drop that you need, and also getting cards back into your hand. And then -4, play 3 Metacooler tokens. So one good strategy is tapping 4 for this, getting a swing off of it, playing a Metacooler token, then -4, playing 3 more Metacooler tokens. So potentially getting 5 swings from 4 energy, which is really, really good. And then we have 1 of the Vegeta Resolute Agents of Destruction. Really good for board clears. Double strike crit. It has an auto. Choose 1 card in your hand, discard it, and then choose all cards in your opponent's area, ignoring barrier, KO them. So really good for the field wipe. Just in that oh crap moment, I'm about to lose, or they got a really wide board, they've established themselves. Use this to get rid of it. As a +1, activate main. This card gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. So going tall with the double strike crit, always really good. And then a -5, activate main. If your leader is an evil wizard, or mono green, or if you have all green energy, your opponent chooses 3 cards in their hand and discards them. So really good if they have just that last few cards in your hand, you can't get it out of their hand. -5, get it out of their hand, so keep them with nothing. Now for the green good stuff. 3 Frieza Charismatic Villain. The counterplay for green, the way it works, you play the card, choose up to one of your opponent's cards with 7 cost or less and KO it. Really good against a ton of stuff out right now. Doesn't get around barrier, but it does get around deflect technically because you're playing the card. So really good for getting your board cleared. If they play something big, they drop a bomb, you can play this to get rid of their stuff, because it hits a lot of things in this game. A lot of stuff is 7 cost or less, so it really good card. And next 3, the Dormant Potential. This is one of the main playmakers of the game, just keeps you alive. The way it works, if your leader card is mono green, choose any number of cards on your opponent's side of the field that adds up to 2 cost. KO them, and then you drop a card from your hand. Then your opponent can only attack 1 more time for the turn, and then if you have a unison on board as a permanent, or you can activate without paying its energy cost. So free counter, clear their board, really good for tokens because it can hit every token. Really good for the early game if they play 1 drops or 2 drops, you can get rid of that stuff, and then they only get 1 more swing. One of the perfect defense cards. So they don't go wide, they don't hit you with 4 or 5, 7 swings. And then another negate, Shocking Death Ball. This is mostly just for sparking purposes, just in case they keep me at 5 life or they don't want to hit me. I can always take a life and negate the attack. Only 2 of, because the Dormant Potential really does the work. And then if you couple it with this in your hand, essentially stop all your attacks for the turn, which is really good. And then 3 Cells Earth Destroying Kamehameha. Activate battle if your leader card is green. Choose one of your cards. It gets plus 15,000 power for the battle, and if all your energy is mono or green, you choose 1 card from your opponent's hand and discard it. So start keeping up with that hand control. Really good as a punish card. So I normally use it for defense. So if an opponent attacks me, I'll play this, keep myself alive, or keep a battle card alive, and then I have to pick one of their cards and they discard it. So really good for keeping that hand really low. And then, like I said, it's really good punish, or good for the offense too if you're going for game. With your leader or one of your big boys, to this, go really tall. And then 2 Feet Kamehameha. I only run this at a 2 of, just because it only affects the leader, where Cells Kamehameha will affect any of your cards. So this is more if I have it in hand after I go for the leader swing. The way this works is activate battle. If your leader card is a green Son Goku, for the duration of the battle, this card gains 15,000 power and critical. So couple that with the leader. If the Krillin's in the drop, you get 35 double strike crit. Really good. If they don't negate the leader swing, you're just going to hit them real hard with this, and they're going to take a lot of damage. So really good as a game ender. Really good as the mid game, like just keeping that pressure on. And for 1 energy, it's really powerful. And then 3 Rebarian, Punishing Passion. This card, it puts in work, especially with this deck, because I don't play much besides 1 drops. So the way this card works is if your leader card is green and you send this card from the drop area to the warp, opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand and discards it. So just like the draw 8 but in reverse, instead of you drawing 2, your opponent discards 2. Really good. Play it with the burst leader, so if you burst it, you get in the drop area. The leader's attack swing will also put it in the drop area, so really easy to get it there. Then just tapping 2, making them drop, and really good on an awaken turn too. Tap 2, make them drop, awaken, restand your energy. If you have another one, do it again. If not, keep playing your turn. So really strong. And then 3 Son Goku Power Legends. This is one of that early crit pressure. What you want to see with hand control, so keep their resources low. The way this card works, it's critical and unique, and if your leader card is green, when one of your card skills makes an opponent discard a card, you can play this card for your hand for free. So free play, critical, really good pressure. Then it has an activate main, send this card to the owner's warp, then you can choose one of your opponent's cards with 4 cost or less and send it to their warp. So really good for the early game if they're trying to establish a board. Really good against skillless, really good against just a bunch of stuff. Doesn't get around barrier, but still keep the crit pressure on. If you have multiple in hand, you can safely get rid of it and then play it again. Then just keeping that crit pressure. Now, for the 1-drop package, we have 4 Vegeta Lone Prince. This is going to be your super combo of choice. The way it works is you can't play this card in the battle area from skills, so you got to hard cast it for 1. Auto, if your leader card is green and you play this card, your opponent discards 1 card from your hand. Really good early game. Turn 1, if you don't have the right cards to play this, make them drop. Keep that pressure on, really good. For 1 energy, they drop. And then it's also your super combo, so if you combo with it, if your life's at 4 or less, you draw a card. So essentially you can plus 2 from this card, because you're paying 1, playing the card out, may discard 1. You can hit it with Bardock, so they're discarding 2. Or if you're comboing with it, you're going to draw 1. So really good versatility that way. And we have 4 Krillin potential unlocked. It's another one of the 1-drops that you want to play to get the hand control with Bardock. This one's really important because it's also your searcher. Permanent, not really pertinent in this deck, but still a thing. If your leader is Son Goku and your life's at 4 or less, this card gains 4, becomes a 4 cost. Really good with the old Clash of Fates Goku, but I don't run that in this deck, it's not really pertinent. But the autos are where it's really at. When this card is played, you can choose 1. Look top 5 of your deck, search for a unison with 2 cost, or this card gains blocker till the end of your next turn. Really good versatility. If they're going to go aggro, you can use the blocker just to keep your life alive, or if you don't have the unison in hand and you need to see it, search the top 5 for the unison. Then we have 3 Ultimate Power Piccolo. Just another 1-drop to get rid of with the hand control. But it can also come in handy because you have a couple options with it. So if your leader card is Green Son Goku, you can choose 1. When you play the card, you either draw a card or it gains 10,000 power for the turn. So if you need to get a final push in, just clear unison, you can swing with it. Or if you want to keep your hand up or early game, always draw a card. And one of the other playmakers is Newfound Power Son Gohan. So really good for that crit pressure, just keeping their life low and not letting them get it. When you play this, when you swing with this card, you take a life, then this card gains 10,000 power and critical, so another 15,000 crit going to the opponent. Really good because they'll have to combo away if they want to keep their life, or use one of their sparking negates, or use something for it. So really good for that pressure. And then also it's a 1-drop, so you can swing with it. Use the Bardock unison, make them discard a card. So just a punish for making them do anything. Then we play 2 of the Krillin Steadfast Defender. This is mostly just for draw purposes, but it is a 15k blocker, so it's not bad. As a permanent, Sparking 10. When you play this, Sparking 10 is if there's 10 cards in your drop, you can reduce the energy cost of this card by 2. So instead of it being a 4 cost, it becomes a 2 cost in hand. So play for pretty cheap, and then the auto, when the card is played, you draw 2 cards, choose one of your cards, send it to your drop area. Really good for that filtering, really good for that draw, and then you have a 15k blocker on board, so really good just to go for that defense. If they're just swinging with leader, swinging with something stupid, you can always block the attack. Now, big boy package is Intensive Training Son Goku. This is a pretty risky play, but it does pay off if you're keeping that hand really low, so they can't really do much about your next response. Barrier and deflect, so it's not going to get hit by most things, but it does have an activate main and battle. So if your leader card is a Green Son Goku, and you have to choose 5 Krillin, Goku, Piccolo, Bulma, or Gohan or Vegeta cards. Choose 5 of those, send them to your warp. Then you can play a 5-cost Goku from your deck or hand. It's an activate main or battle, so effectively you can play it the right way if you want to be sneaky about it. Swing with this, play your 5-drop Goku, play one of your 5-drop Gokus, or on the defense, if they're swinging at this or swinging something, you can activate this to get one of your 5-cost outs to disrupt their plays. And we play 2 5-cost Gokus. We play Son Goku, Pride of the Saiyans. One of the game enders, one of the board controls, really solid card. The way it works, it's double strike and has a permanent. This card cannot be removed from the battle area by skills, so they can't just warp it off the field. They can't use their battle cards, just their effects to get it off. So sticks pretty well. And then it has an auto if there is a Green Son Goku card under this card, so your 4-cost. If that is under this, if your opponent plays a card with 5 costs or less, they have to discard 2 cards from their hand. And then also, when you play this card, choose all your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO them. So really good for the board wipe if they're going really wide, or if they have an established board. Drop this, KO everything, so get rid of everything they've done. Or, and if they want to play more stuff, they're going to have to discard 2. So Really good. It can be hit by stuff because it doesn't have barrier, so it can be negged and it can be attacked, but still really devastating when you hit it on your opponent. And then another option, which is we just added to this deck, another 5-cost Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku Fist of Fortitude. This is the one if you need to get a game ender in, or if you just want, or if you have a unison on board. That's really nasty. Triple strike barrier, has an activate main. Your leader card is green. Choose one card in your hand and discard it. Then you can choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, KO it, or choose up to one of your opponent's unison cards and remove a marker from it. So really good for clearing the board too if they only have one or two things. It may be more pertinent to use this card versus the other Goku. Then it also 30,000 triple strike, so going really tall. So your opponent has to combo even more to get out of it. Or if they're at 3 life because you can't hit them more, use this to finish the game. It also has an activate main for 1 green. If your leader card is green and you discard this card from your hand, choose up to one of your opponent's cards, unison cards, and remove a marker for it. So effectively, it's not really a dead card if you have it in hand, because you can use the effect to remove a marker. So there's one unison on board that you just can't deal with, or Demigod unison that has the 1 unison marker on it and you can't remove it. Use this card, then get it. So really versatile that way. And then the secret rare we play, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta Peerless Fusion. Really good card for the hand control. I mostly just like it. Is the reason why I play it. But Ultimate Triple Strike has the permanent. You can't play battle cards when this card's in the field, and you can't combo cards that are on your field. So once this card sticks, you can't really play anything else. But when you play this card, it's going to end the game. Because mostly by the Tyrant 5, that's when you're going to kill. So this card just is your finisher. Then it has to activate main for 5 energy. If all your energy is the same color, you play this card from your hand, you draw 2 cards, switch up to 2 of your energy to active mode, choose 2 cards from your opponent's hand to discard, and they send them to their warp. Then your opponent also chooses 2 cards from their field and sends them to their warp. So essentially you can plus 8 off of this, which is tremendously good. But this is just one way to finish the game out. Get the hand control, so if they have a few cards in their hand, get rid of most of them. You still get 2 energy back, so you can combo stuff. Use the Cells Kamehameha to get the last thing out of their hand, and then you have a 45 triple strike on board. So I've seen a lot of success with this. I've won a couple locals with this. It's degenerate because you get a lot of hand control out of it, and it's super fun. I love the Clash Crew leader, and it does its job. There you have it.
No, it's an incredible deck. But Jimmy, your thoughts? Since you're still standing here beside me for some odd reason.
Why are you like this?
Me?
Yeah.
Because it's fun, and this is the only way I win. So
Keep in mind, I never got that response from playing Gotenks from him, so
Yeah.
he must really hate that deck.
there's a few types of controls in this game. There are some decks that say, no, you can't play this. There are some control decks that say, no, you can't use this. This deck says, no, you can't have that. So I don't want you to play. I don't want you to play cards. I don't want you to have them in your hand. I don't want to use them as effective as possible. I don't want you to combo effectively. I want to disrupt you in ways that make you play suboptimally. And that's what this deck does. If you're comboing, I'm going to use Bardock's effect to remove your combos. If you're going to keep something in hand to save it, I'm going to rip it away. If you want to get an effect off, you're going to have to do it in the worst time to benefit me in the end game. So it does its job. It does it really well. It's really consistent, and it works.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Bancroft, the reason I don't say that about you is because I know the only reason you play hand control is because you're a bitter, degenerate person. You are an awful human being. You are scum. He's too nice to be playing something like this.
And with that being said, thanks for tuning in. Like always, like, subscribe. Jimmy may be right, apparently, but we will never know. With that being said, thank you all, and like always,
Read your cards, know your plays. Like always, fluff out.